to do it, it's like being dishonest to yourself. It's like showing that you don't have any respect for yourself. Because if I was with someone else, they told me, if I told them I was going on a walk, or if they told me like come with me on a walk, I would be there on that walk because I respect them, I cherish them. But if I tell myself I'm going on a walk and I don't go, it shows that I don't have that respect for myself. This one I said spend less time planning and more time doing. And this one is for the planners, for like me, who can't do anything unless it's written down. Now, the thing is, for planners, we tend to like write everything down in the morning or the night before, and then the time comes to do the thing and we don't want to do it. And because it's just a goal, sometimes we don't, we're like, oh, it's fine, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow, kind of thing. Don't do that. Actually, if you're like, I need to get this done, I would actually recommend do two or three things that are highly important. Things that are like, I need to do them right now. So if it's like cleaning, get that clean done. If it's assignment, just sit down and start writing, because the truth is sometimes it's better to start than make a list because it keeps you going. Or I would also say make a list for one activity. So if I had an assignment that to do the next morning, I would, and it was 10 p.m., I'd be like, I can sleep in the afternoon. And that's such a terrible advice. But if it's, you can't ask for deadline shit, like extend, if you can't ask for deadline extension or anything like that, I would make a plan of what do I need to get done, like crucially get done. Like, this is your final plan. Like, it's not a, oh, this is like, don't stress about everything else. Just be like, I have this many hours. This is what I can afford to do. And write down, I need to write 300 words about this. I need to write 300 words explaining this. Like, you write down what you actually need to get done. So when you tick it off, you actually got the assignment done. Not like, oh, I need to write down a title that'll help me with this, that'll help me with that. Be so specific with these goals that when you get it done, you get it done. That's how I get assignments done when it's like time crunch. It helps you not stress because you're not you're trying to get the main stuff down, and you're just grinding. You're not focused on this planning, everything's on there, but it's planning where it's like, if I get these things done, this assignment will be done. Not if I maybe if I take most of these, maybe if I do this, it'll be done. It's like, no, if this do this gets done, this assignment is gonna be done. um Next is, my Christian life is not just a part of me, but the whole of me. Now, for so many of us, especially my generation, we think Christ is another part of me. It's like, oh, I play sport, I do music, I I'm good at school, I'm doing all these extracurriculars, and I'm also Christian. It's not that. It's actually quite the other way around, because if you were to die this very exact moment, you wouldn't be like, oh, actually, my music is going to save me, my art skills are gonna save me. It's not that. You're like, God, save my soul right now. So it's God first, and then everything else comes around it. It's like God is the main priority in your life, and then everything else is a side piece, you know? So, yes, remember that. That's your reminder. If you've been doing things and you're like, I'll do God later, girl, you should get up. Girl, guy, whoever is watching this, you should get up and go and do it. Next, this is that was number 7. This is now number 8. That was number 7. Make sure God is a whole part of you, not a part of you. And then this is number 8, which states, stop comparing myself to others. Nothing else about that. One, it's bad for you, makes you sad, makes it also shows the ungrateful side of you, because if I saw what you have, I should be happy for you, knowing that my blessings are different to your blessings, and I should be grateful for what I have, because when you're grateful, you're whole. You love your you've come to a piece of like a place of understanding with what you have and what the person has, and you know that the grass is actually not greener on their side and it's greener on your side, and you just have to see your world like that. And when you're grateful, you're also less likely to complain. So there's that. I'm calling you out. Um, but also with that, it's important to realize that we all have different blessings. So sadly, comparing yourself is not going to do you much good, but rather harm. So maybe pray to God about that. Okay, number 9, never be idle for more than 2 hours. This was very much to me because I feel like if you're idle, that's when you don't exercise, you don't do your assignments, you don't keep your spaces clean, and you tend to just put in a movie and stay there, eat bad food because you don't want to cook anything. You probably won't get your drink, like your water intake up. It's actually going to be drinking very unhealthy drinks like sodas. Not that they're bad all the time, but you won't drink to a healthy rate or healthy amount. So try to not be idle for too long. And 2 hours is for me, but just try not to be idle too long. Like try and have yourself busy. And obviously not too overworked, but busy where you're doing stuff and not just sitting there. And if you are, try and read your Bible. Try and get to know God a bit more. Number 10, don't be afraid to start something. Always trust in God's wisdom. Now, this is for me specifically because I'm talking to people who like want to start something, but in them it's like, no, I won't be good enough. I won't be perfect. I won't be this. Let me remind you of Moses in the Bible. This guy told God, I can't do this. Imagine telling God that you, the creator, I'm telling you, the creator of the whole world, that I can't do something. He made me, which means if he tells me to do something, he has a plan for me, right? Which means you have to trust in his wisdom, not your own. You might not see the end, but he does. He made you, he made the world, he knows the beginning and the end. So don't stress. So a big thing that I've had to do is like, I'm just gonna do my part, God. And for me, it was YouTube. It's like I didn't want to start. I was like, God, there is this. I don't have time. The software to edit. And he was just like, what about just film? Just start. Just start and see where it goes. And this is where we are. Number 11, learn all you can from your experiences. What you refuse to learn now, you'll be forced to learn later. Repeat. What you refuse to learn now, you'll be forced to learn later. So every experience that you have, good or bad, reflect on it. And this is how I say it, especially when you're so busy. I remember for me, year 11, I was so busy here and there. I was always exhausted that I didn't have time to one, think my emotions, how I was responding to people around me, how I was maintaining my relationships. My academics were not going great. I was just like, God, I need you right now. That's because I was just too busy. U12 was the exact opposite. And I saw progress because when in those experiences and it's so busy, it's so hard to be like, what didn't go right and what did go right. And you find, especially with school, you find that you be like, oh, someone went really well, but then you might not ask yourself, why did it go well? Going well doesn't mean you did everything perfect, but you did something that enabled you. So what did you do there that you can transfer to other assignments you may be struggling in? And always use every experience as a moment to reflect on your life. Maybe something didn't go well with your parents or your friends or your colleagues, bosses, anything. Always ask what went right and what went wrong, and how did I influence that? Or how, and if it's not, what did you do that led God to influence that? So maybe you might have prayed about the bad experience, and the next day you find the person was a lot nicer to you, and like, what? How did that happen? It's usually not you, it's usually God intervening in your life, but we might not see that very clearly because we don't always understand spiritual things. So that's on that. Number 12, um, this is called to determine what is good or bad in your life. Experiment. Now, when I say experiment with what's good and bad in your life, I don't mean go out there and do things that are not right. No, it's like don't just say this thing is a bad. Example, let's say it's food. Don't say that food is a bad food and you've never tried it. Don't say that person's a bad person and you've never talked to them. Don't go with the outer appearance, don't judge the book by the first cover. Instead, get to know the thing, try the food, go to the place, talk to the person, you know. Sometimes you need more than once. The first time might not be the best, second time might not be great, but the third time I realize you're breaking this ice you've had around this thing. And so it's just really nice if you just, try and do more things, experiment with more things, because you find that the more you experiment with things, the more you face your unknown fears, the more you experience unknown feelings, things like that, and you get to know yourself a lot better. I cannot tell you how many times over the last 2 years this was so scary, might have been embarrassing. I might have hated it. I would have regretted it. But I will look back and say, I had that fear and I overcame it. Like I had a fear of public speaking and I became a student leader. And I proposed, I organized a sports carnival, which meant I had to talk to propose the idea. I had to talk to get participation from students. You have to do these things to then be like, oh, I overcame that. I can do more. Because once you break that level, the new level of fear, and you have to break that level, and it just keeps going. Number 13, God can bless you with more if you can't handle the small things He gives you. This is going back to, I think, this is going back to number 10, you know? If God gives you something small, gratefulness. Be grateful and work with it because He will bless you with more. If you don't, He can't give you more. And there's a story in the Bible where I think this sailor or this guy had three workers and he gave them something small, so he gave them some coins and told them to go and grow it. And one guy went off and he took great care of the money and he grew. One guy used the money in bad ways. One guy was so scared to start, he buried the money. And when the boss came, he was so disappointed. He was like, I gave you money and it's the same amount that I gave you. You should have grown. You should have had like faith and the courage to let the money grow. But he was so scared of failing, he couldn't do it. And so it's like, which one are you? Are you the guy that went and grew the money by starting a business or something? Are you the guy that went and misused the money? You know, you didn't use it in the rightful ways. Or are you the person that was too scared to start? You know, and if you want God to bless you with more, you have to start doing small. So I just wanted to say that, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. Is I'm just gonna have a quick summary. Dedicate an hour or two in reading and watching a self-improvement video. Number two, dedicate my life to live in a way that inspires others to lead a godly life. Number three, to achieve success, you need to be consistent with all your systems. Number four, spend most of your time working on projects that serve God's sheep. Number five, prioritize things that will improve your life, e.g., the food you eat, exercise, family events. Number that was number five. Number six, spend less time planning, more time doing. Number seven, my Christian life is not just a part of me; it is the whole of me. Number eight, stop comparing yourself to others. Number nine, never be idle for more than 2 hours, or never be idle for too long. Number 10, don't be afraid to start something new and always trust in God's wisdom. Number 11, all you can learn all you can from your experiences. What you refuse to learn now, you'll be forced to learn later. Number 12, to determine what is good and bad in your life, experiment. And number 13, God can't bless you with more if you can't handle the small things He gives you. So with that, comment down which ones you are going to implement into your life.